invitation letters. These links are very important because from these links you are now able to match make with European business community that has come to Tanzania looking for opportunities in Tanzania, and where the opportunities that is available at the moment. So please build up your profile and get set for the matchmaking. As I mentioned earlier, the session for one-on-one will commence as soon as the opening session is finished. So the more you build up, the more you make those appointments ready for matchmaking. Hence, a successful European Union and Tanzania Business Forum.
Spirit of Africa, simple and inspiring. Tanzania, unforgettable. Coming to Tanzania is to visit the unforgettable. From one attraction to the next, each scene is more gripping than the last. Unforgettable, breathtaking landscapes are the order of the day. A never-ending wonderland that truly indulges the senses. With its award-winning national parks, game reserves, mountains, forests, waterfalls, lakes, islands, and endless beaches, you are simply spoiled for choice.
Brass band tujiandae kwa ajili ya kumkaribisha sasa mgeni rasmi. Brass band, please get set as we are about to welcome to the stage the guest of honor. And as the guest of honor walks in, I will then request all of us to, when he walks in, I will request all of us to please stand up, and then we shall have the brass band ushering in. The program can be found through scanning on your pages. Karibu Jumuiya and take her through the next stage. Karibu.
Ya, na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Wageni walikwa, mabibi na mabwana, awali ya yote niwakaribishe kwenye jukwaa la biashara kati ya Tanzania na Jumuiya ya Ulaya, na naomba tusimame tumkaribishe sasa Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mheshimiwa Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kwa heshima kubwa tunaomba uendelee kusimama, utuongoze kwa nyimbo za taifa la Tanzania, wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki na baadaye wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Ulaya, na tutaongozwa na brass band ya Jeshi la Polisi. Karibu. Asante sana. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, tunaomba uketi. Naomba watu wote tuketi. Mheshimiwa Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, waheshimiwa mawaziri, waheshimiwa manaibu mawaziri, waheshimiwa mabalozi, waheshimiwa makatibu wakuu, manaibu makatibu wakuu, watendaji mbalimbali wa serikali, wakuu wa taasisi za serikali, wafanyabiashara, wawekezaji, wageni waalikwa, mabibi na mabwana. Awali ya yote, naomba nichukue nafasi hii, Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, kukaribisha katika siku ya kwanza kati ya mbili ya Jukwaa la Biashara kati ya Tanzania na Jumuiya ya Ulaya, linalowakutanisha Watanzania, wawekezaji na wafanyabiashara kutoka ndani na nje ya Tanzania. Tukiwa tunakwenda sasa kuanza ratiba yetu, kwa heshima kubwa naomba nimwalike Mheshimiwa Amos Gabriel Makala, mkuu wa mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, aweze kutoa salamu fupi kwa dakika 2 za mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Mheshimiwa mkuu wa mkoa, kwa heshima na taadhima, karibu sana.
Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais Dr. Philip Mpango, Waziri wa Uwekezaji, mawaziri wote walioko hapa, mabalozi na wote waliotambulishwa, nichukue fursa hii kuwakaribisha katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, jiji letu kubwa la kibiashara. Tumefurahi kwamba mmekuja kufanya mkutano huu hapa na sio Dodoma, kwa sababu ya ukubwa na wa Dar es Salaam, na huwa anasema kama ni Marekani basi Dodoma ni Washington, hapa ni New York. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana, na naamini kabisa unaposema wawekezaji wengi wako katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, wanawekeza katika mikoa mingine. Kwa na fursa zipo kama ambavyo balozi alikuwa anaeleza. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana mkoa wa Dar es Salaam, na tuko tayari kuwapa ushirikiano kwa fursa zozote zile ambazo mnazihitaji. Tutawapa ushirikiano katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Karibuni sana, na ni mkoa ambao mko salama. Mkutano wenu mtaufanya mpaka mtakapoondoka. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Amos Makala kwa ukaribisho wa wageni katika mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, baada ya ukaribisho huo, sasa kwa heshima kubwa naomba nimwalike Dr. Twahib Abdalla, Katibu Mkuu Wizara ya Viwanda, Uwekezaji na Biashara, aje afanye maelezo mafupi na utambulisho wa viongozi walioalikwa katika jukwaa hili. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, it is a great honor to present to you the key guests as well as the government officials from the United Republic of Tanzania and the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, as well as high-level delegates present at this occasion. Your Excellency Tukijaji, Minister for Investment, Industry and Trade. Honorable Modric Soraga, Minister of State, President Office Economy. Mr. Paul Makanja, the Vice Chairperson of Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, is representing the private. From the European Union, kindly, our guest of honor, allow me to introduce representatives from development partners, representatives from non-government organizations, investors from United Republic of Tanzania, from European Union, Your Excellency, guests of honor, we do acknowledge the presence of members of press from European countries and most importantly, our Tanzanian media members. Your Excellency, guests of honor, Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade believes that this forum has laid down an important stepping stone towards increasing business and investment between Tanzania and the European Union. It builds on the existing partnership around development cooperation by recognizing and including the private sector, which is a significant player in both social and economic development. Your Excellency, guests of honor, we would like to recognize the presence of Honorable Ambassador Manifesto Fentry, EU Delegation Ambassador to Tanzania. And also recognize the presence of Ms. Helen Koenig. Your Excellency, guests of honor, and Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, thank you for this and for the kind attention. Thank you.
Asante sana. Yeah, His Excellency Dr. Isidoli Philip Mpango, Vice President of United Republic of Tanzania. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Oliver Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Activity of France. For France, for his remark. Honorable Oliver, please welcome.
Well, Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Mr. and Mrs. Ministers, Honorable Representatives of European institutions, and Honorable Ambassadors. Habari za asubuhi. Good morning and bonjour. I am delighted, really delighted, to open the EU-Tanzania Business Forum alongside such honorable guests this morning. This event reflects the new partnership that the European Union and Africa have defined together and that they are putting into action. This partnership is based on common values, on shared commitments to the promotion of an international world-based order, and on collective action for sustainable and inclusive development. We have developed together, Africans and Europeans, a comprehensive strategy that encompasses green transition, access, digital transformation, sustainable growth, peace and security, migration and mobility. This is the list of the shared priorities we agreed on during the last EU-Africa summit 1 year ago. Our choice to invest in Africa is a long-term one, as well as a mutually beneficial one. We supported African countries when we were collectively hit by the COVID-19 pandemic by ensuring a fair and equitable access to vaccines in developing production capacity on the continent. We supported our African partners to find the adequate responses to the macroeconomic effect of the COVID crisis and of the Russian war of aggression in Ukraine. I wish to insist on the fact that this renewed partnership between Europe and Africa is key to face global challenges, including the most pressing one, climate change. In the context of the renewed EU-Africa strategy, I must say that the relationship between the EU and Tanzania is very good, as Tanzania is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. It is a gateway to 6 landlocked growing countries in addition to insular countries in the Indian Ocean. Tanzania is also a beacon of stability in the region, and under the leadership of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, its position has greatly improved. Let me acknowledge here the democratic reform enacted by President Samia in a short time frame. These are steps that are praised not only by the international community, but also by the private sector, because they demonstrate the willingness of the government to address those issues. The EU-Tanzania partnership is supported by shared business values of free trade and sustainability. Therefore, we need to promote Tanzania as a business destination for European private companies and investors. I know that among us this morning are European producers, retailers, distributors, investment funds, financial institutions. Some of you are already operating in Tanzania, and others are looking for opportunities. Let me tell you that I sincerely believe that this country has a tremendous potential. This forum is also an opportunity to identify the areas where expertise of the European business community can accompany Tanzania in delivering its economic priorities. In other words, this forum discussion must help the European private actors in the room to add value to the socio-economic development of Tanzania. The European institutions are also instrumental in fostering our presence. By law, European companies have to comply with the highest environmental, ethical, social, and transparency standards in the world. It is in their DNA. But the importance of the European institutions lies also in their capacity to provide funding solutions that are transparent and respectful of the country's sovereignty. I would like to emphasize this message. When you deal with the European family in its larger meaning, whether it be companies or institutions, you engage with people who are keen in building capacity and enforce good business practices. I also would like to stress the opportunity provided by the European project for infrastructure around the world called Global Gateway. It can be tapped to fund projects that connect Tanzania to its hinterland and the rest of the world, such as Bagamoyo Port. European and French companies in Tanzania have therefore been reliable partners and have created thousands of skilled jobs. They have increased their investments with other Tanzanian companies and with the government as well. I'm glad that French companies which are part of this big European family, have become in numbers. If you allow me, I would like also to say a few words about France and Tanzania. First, I want to recall that Tanzania is an important neighbor for the French islands of Mayotte and La Réunion. Both countries share a long history, and since President Samia took office, this relation has been on a fast track. It culminates with her visit in Paris in February 2022, where she met President Macron. France therefore wants to participate alongside the European Union in accompanying the positive dynamic President's impulse in the country, especially in two major sectors, energy and transport. This is the sense of my presence here today and the presence of an important French economical delegation. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would also like to take this opportunity to say a few words on Ukraine. Tomorrow will sadly mark the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has caused awful pain. Ukrainians pay the highest price, but hundreds of millions of Africans are also paying a heavy price in their daily lives. Tanzania has not been spared. I say this in Tanzania, the country of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, who, with his legendary wisdom and leadership, refused invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 and Prague in 1968, while he was very close in that time to the Soviet Union. France and the European Union are working together with local governments to try and alleviate the consequences of this war on African people. France has been very active through the launching with the frame of the European Union of the Food and Agriculture Resilient Missions Farm Initiative and the Grain for Ukraine Initiative. This measure have benefited East African countries like Somalia or more recently Malawi for fertilizers. As a conclusion, I would like to say that the relation between the European Union and France on the one side and Africa and Tanzania on the other side is a relation between equals and between neighbors that respect each other. We benefit from each other on different levels, and our prosperity is a shared prosperity. We want this partnership to grow, and from our side I can assure you that we will do what it takes to make it successful. Pamoja tunaweza. Thank you. Asante sana.
Asante sana. His Excellency, guest of honor, please allow me now to call Honorable Elena Koenig, Deputy Secretary General of European External Action Service, for a few remarks. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Mpango, Honorable Ministers of Investment, Industry and Trade, Madam Kijaju, Honorable Minister Soraga, Honorable Ministers Olivier Becht, Vice President of the European Investment Bank, Honorable Mr. Thomas Östros, members of the government of Tanzania, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asabu. The economies of the European Union and the African countries are recovering from two successive big shocks. But the shocks of these shocks' consequences are global. We are facing a triple crisis of global food security, price hikes in energy, and a debt crisis that face many countries. We need to overcome today's crisis by strengthening our relationships We need to strengthen our relationships politically, people to people, and business to business. And that's why we are here today, strengthening these relationships. We need to give new impulses to our businesses, who more than ever need to find new partners, clients, and suppliers. The high number of European companies, together with the Tanzanian companies that are here today, bear witness of the strong interest there is to develop more business partnerships between Tanzania and Europe, but also in the wider region of East Africa. In 2021, EU-Tanzania trade amounted to over 1 billion euros. This is made possible by the most extensive market access for trading partners that we have in Tanzania through the Everything But Arms policy. We look forward to strengthen and deepen this relationship through the conclusion of the Economic Partnership Agreement, as we are doing with Kenya, and we hope soon to do also with Tanzania. Tanzania is a country of opportunities and an increasing economic potential. Tanzania is also the logistical hub for trade. The completion of big infrastructure developments, like the Standard Gauge Railway, will make this even more evident. The Tanzanian society is also changing. Thanks to economic progress, people expect more services and products of a different nature. A new, bigger market is developing, creating business opportunities. Without going too far, I think it's sufficient to observe the trend in everything related to the digital economy, which has already been mentioned here today. It's also important to develop the business and investment environment in a manner that can be a game changer for the Tanzanian economy. As we've heard in the first panel, the economic operators need to see less red tape and a good investment environment. They want to feel secure by clear regulations, rules of taxation, and a predictable application of the rule of law. Tanzania has all the possibilities to live up to those requests. On the European side, our companies are looking for new investment opportunities in Tanzania and far beyond traditional sectors, such as agriculture, raw materials, and tourism. One example is renewable energy, which is a key sector in a country where economic operators are hungry for energy. But there are also other prospects linked to connectivity and infrastructure, where the EU and its member states and Tanzania should join forces to support business on both sides to make business flourish. The EU Global Gateway strategy responds to these needs of more investments. It aims to offer the best instruments to support European and Tanzanian investments. The Global Gateway is a new European strategy to boost smart, clean, and secure links, in particular in digital, energy, transport sector, but also to strengthen health, education, and research systems across the world. Between 2021 and 2027, Team Europe, meaning the European Union institutions and all our member states, will mobilize up to 300 billion euros of investments around the globe. About half of that, 150 billion euros, is directed towards Africa. And it's really a demonstration of the strong commitment relationship the EU has with Africa. Taking as an example in Tanzania, we have the Kakono hydroenergy plant in Kagoro region and the linked transmission infrastructure, which will pave the way for an interconnector between Tanzania and Uganda, thereby supporting regional stability, but also not only in Tanzania, and Uganda, but also in the neighboring countries. I think this is an example of the flagship projects we would like to develop more of with Tanzania and with Tanzanian business and European business. Global Gateway also supports our partners in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Investment partners with EU entities will bring compliance with the best social and environmental standards, transfer of expertise, compliance with quality and safety standards, both for products and in services, and will also have a good training for employees. As the war in Ukraine has its global implications, as mentioned in the beginning, Global Gateway will also assist for us to tackle these crises together. To conclude, today we are marking an important day in EU-Tanzania business relations. We are keen to build on it, and you can rely on the full support of the European Union and its member states. I thank you very much for your attention. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Honorable Elena, His Excellency, a guest of honor. Allow me to call Honorable Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank, for his few remarks. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much and good morning. Vice President Mpango, Ministers, Deputy Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues. As Vice President of the European Investment Bank, responsible for our activities in East Africa, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the EU-Tanzania Business Forum today. Karibuni. The EU-Tanzania Forum brings together friends and partners from across the country of Tanzania and across Europe. I'm pleased that my colleagues and I can be here in Tanzania during the European Investment Bank's first high-level visit to Africa in 2023. I'm joined by Maria Shaw-Barragan, EIB Director for Global Lending Operations, Ed Clausen, the new head of our EIB's regional hub in East Africa in Nairobi, and colleagues from our business financing and public sector lending teams. We are at your disposal. Let me say that over the last 45 years, the EIB has worked with Tanzania partners to support clean energy, water, agriculture, tourism, and business financing across your beautiful country. This visit marks the return of the European Investment Bank, the world's largest international public bank, owned directly by the 27 European Union members, to Tanzania after a 7-year gap. It's great to be back again. Last year, during the first year of our operation of EIB Global, our new dedicated development finance branch, the European Investment Bank provided more than 4.1 billion euros for private and public investment across the African continent. And since the start of the COVID pandemic, the EIB has enabled more than 6 billion euros of business financing to ensure that African companies can better withstand the trade and tourism shocks that we have faced in recent years. And yesterday, in Nairobi, I was honored to announce the EIB's largest ever cooperation with our regional partner, TDB, the Trade and Development Bank of Eastern and Southern Africa, that will unlock more than $400 million of new business investment across Eastern and Southern Africa. The latest cooperation with the TDB is specifically targeted to support companies facing trade risk disruptions and business challenges triggered by Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine and the COVID pandemic. Both here in Dar es Salaam and later on in Zanzibar, my colleagues and I will have the opportunity to see firsthand how Tanzanian entrepreneurs and businesses are investing to create jobs and investing to create a better future. Tomorrow, I will join chief executives and managing directors of 3 leading Tanzanian banks to unveil the details of our cooperation to unlock 540 million euros of new business investment across the country. This new business financing initiative includes both the European Investment Bank's largest ever support for targeted investment in the blue economy and dedicated financing for Tanzanian companies led by women. The scale and ambition of our dedicated support for the Tanzanian business investments is only possible thanks to the professionalism and engagement of Tanzanian financial partners, as well as the support of the European Union, including the European Union delegation here in Dar es Salaam and colleagues in Brussels. Thank you for that cooperation. So this afternoon, my colleagues and I look forward to discuss with business and political leaders on new opportunities for high-impact investment in Tanzania. Also, I look forward to traveling to Zanzibar tomorrow to meet local entrepreneurs and really see how better access to blue economy financing can lead to improvements through investment in fishing, shipping, and tourism. Asante, thank you for your attention.
Asante sana, His Excellency Guest of Honor. Sasa ni wakati wa contract signing, and before that, allow me to call Honorable Professor Makame Mbalawa, Minister for Works and Transport, for his few remarks. Honorable, karibu sana.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister for Trade, Attractiveness and French nationals abroad, ministers and deputy ministers present here, permanent secretaries present here, government officials from the United Republic of Tanzania, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you all in the name of the United Republic of Tanzania. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here at the signing ceremony of the Bilateral Air Services Agreements, BASA, between the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France. Following the months of negotiations, we are pleased to be here today to sign an agreement that will bring the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France even closer together. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Minister Olivier Bech and your delegation for setting aside your time so as to join us and witness the historical event of bilateral air services agreement signing. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the bilateral air services agreement we are going to sign today was discussed during our experts meeting in Mayotte on 27 to 28 June 2022. The time taken for fruits of this agreement has been almost 7 months. However, it is pleasing to note that 2 governments are going the official signing of this BASA today. This is an important milestone in the United Republic of Tanzania bilateral relationship with the Republic of France. This agreement will replace the air service agreement between United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France, which was signed in June in 1978. The need to have a new agreement was necessary for aviation developments and cater for the market demands. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a brief insight of the BASA to be signed gives me a confidence as it has embodied the principle of business and effective regulatory controls for airline destinations, authorization of non-discriminatory airline self-handling, fair competition, open consultation between contracting parties, as well as unlimited capacities between Julius Nyerere International Airport, Abedi Amani Karume International Airport, and Kilimanjaro International Airport for the United Republic of Tanzania, as well as the agreed respective regional and international destinations of the Republic of France. The signing of BASA will create a capacity demand, allow a great market access to support growth and competition in the airport transport sector. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that the implementation of BASA will substantially increase air traffic movements for key targeted markets in the world, which include key airports, hub points that transit a large volume of passengers and goods. I strongly believe that direct flights between Jumuiya, AAKI, and Kia and the metropolitan France will increase the number of guests in Tanzania coming from the France, Europe, and the rest of the world through the airline networks and connections. I have also been informed that Air France is in the final stages to commence direct flight between our two sister nations. This is indeed a great move to make. I also urge ATCL to make plans to start direct flights between our two countries. Again, this will facilitate the travel between our two countries and boost existing economic activities. The increase in flight will also stimulate aeronautical and non-aeronautical revenues, thus improve the aviation business for our two countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I hope that the conclusion of bilateral air services agreement, BASA, today will lead to the closer ties between the economy and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France. Thank you very much for attention. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Profesa Makame Mnyambarawa, Waziri wa Ujenzi na Uchukuzi wa Serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, before we proceed to signing agreement of air service agreement between the government of France and the Tanzania Civil Aviation Agency, allow me to welcome Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, for a few words before we proceed for the signing ceremony. Karibu sana kwa mara ya pili.
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning again. I'm now pleased to announce that we are going to sign two major agreements. The first one is a new bilateral air service agreement. French and Tanzania air companies have been working for decades under the framework of an agreement that has become inadequate to cope with the increase of air traffic in the two countries. In October 2021, Air France launched flight from Paris to Zanzibar, and next June they will extend this connection to Dar es Salaam. On its side, Air Tanzania has the appetite to expand its connection to French territories, first of all to Mayotte, and later to Paris. The French and Tanzanian civil aviation authorities agreed to expand the number of flight slots given to the airline companies of each countries. This agreement will boost significantly the trade and tourism between both countries. So thank you very much, and let's sign.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me now to call Professor Makame Mnyabawa, Minister of Works and Transport, to proceed to the signing table, and the Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegates for Trade and Economic Attractiveness from the Government of France, to proceed to the signing table. Brass band, please get ready for fanfare during the signing ceremony. Yeah, okay. His Excellency, guest of honor, on behalf of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Professor Makame Mnyabawa, Minister of Works and Transport, together with Olivier Bech on behalf of the government of France, signing air service agreement between the two countries. This agreement will allow the airline companies of both countries to increase their number of flights to the other countries. Air France will benefit from it as it plans to increase the number of flights in Tanzania with the incoming inauguration of a direct flight between Dar es Salaam and Paris in June 2023. Okay, the deal is done. Okay, we can raise. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Deal done. Air service agreement between the government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the government of France is done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, next memorandum of understanding will be between the Port of Antwerp International and the Tanzania Port Authority. Allow me to call Mr. Palacios Mbosa, Director General Tanzania Ports Authority, for few words before the signing. Mbosa, for few words.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Ashantu Kijaji, Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, honorable guests from the European Union, honorable ministers present at this forum, honorable ambassadors present at this forum, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Tanzania Port Authority, we are delighted to participate in this business forum, which, as among other things, will witness the signing of the MOU between the Tanzania Port Authority and the Port of Antwerp Bruges of Belgium. I would like to say this opportunity to thank and specifically the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and the European Union. This opportunity to share the views on port industries and culminate in signing of the MOU that we will sign soon. On part of the port and the MOU that we are going to sign include, among other things, the following areas of cooperation. The first area will be consultancies on preparation and implementation of port infrastructure development plans. Honorable Vice President, the second area of cooperation will be the supervision of strategic port projects between the government and the private sector. Honorable Vice President, as you are aware, we are moving from being the operators of the port to landlord, and we are looking forward to let in private operators and developers of the port to develop and operate our ports. The third area of cooperation is on the advisory on the PPP contracts, specifically preparation of the contracts and the supervision of the same. And the last area is on the technical training in all areas of port industry. Your Excellency Vice President, through this MOU, TPA expects to enhance efficiency of the port industry and stimulate other economic activities that depend on the efficiency of the port. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Guest of Honor. Allow me to welcome Mario Rieven, Director, Port of Antwerp Bruges International, Belgium, for a few words before we proceed to the signing table. Welcome here. Yes, yeah. Few words, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Delegates of the EU. It's an honor to be here on the stage and sign this MOU, which will be the start of a collaboration where we, together with TPA and its team, will develop the gateway to Tanzania and its 8 neighbor countries, of which 6 are landlocked, to develop an attractive port platform, including not only port operations, but also logistics and industrial activity to really anchor the added value of the geostrategic position that Tanzania has. And so looking forward to do this shoulder to shoulder in a co-creation and provide opportunities for investors from Europe, Tanzania, and East Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, guest of honor. Allow me once again.
The Ports Authority stands before a pivotal moment in its history, and the Port of Antwerp-Bruges International stands ready to accompany TPA in its endeavors. The Port of Antwerp-Bruges is one of the largest ports in the world and the most important port for trade between the EU and Africa. With a vast experience in teaming up with ports worldwide through capacity building and advisory services, but also as a manager and investor in port projects in Latin America, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. Through their partnership, Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and TPA want to join forces with a view to further developing the existing port infrastructure and superstructure as an engine for the sustainable, inclusive development of Tanzania and as an industrial and logistics hub for the region. Platforms where added value and jobs are generated rather than merely generating import and export flows. TPA and POABI can therefore be seen as important public actors ready to implement the strategy and objectives of EU's Global Gateway Initiative here in Tanzania. Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and Antwerp Flanders Port Training Center have been working together since 1979 with Tanzania Ports Authority on a sustainable partnership with a focus on capacity building. As part of this partnership, APIC, as it is called, has already welcomed over 100 employees from TPA to its training programs in Antwerp. This collaboration between both organizations was further strengthened in the past year and is resulting now in the signing of a mutually beneficial memorandum of understanding for consultancy, studies and exchange on various port-related activities, as well as training and capacity upscaling. I won't dwell on the aim of the MOU, which was already explained by the DG and the Director of Antwerp. What I still wanted to conclude with is that by strengthening the existing port infrastructure of Dar es Salaam, capitalizing on its geostrategic position to improve the hinterland connectivity through this development of dry ports and lake ports and preparing for additional capacity in the near future, Tanzania, its economy and its people have much to win from their ports. So my sincerest congratulations to both parties, whom I now invite to solemnly sign the much valued Memorandum of Understanding. Hongera sana, kazi iendelee.
His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me to welcome His Excellency Nyamanga Justus, Ambassador of Tanzania to Belgium, to witness the signing ceremony. MOU between Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and the Tanzania Port Authority. Brass band, get ready for fanfare. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, next deal is Kakono. This is the investment for construction of new hydropower plants in Kagera region. Allow me to call Ant Kunen, Director for Sustainable Finance, Director for Sustainable Finance, European Commission, for few words. just proceed to the podium, please. Director, please proceed to podium for a few words before we proceed to signing table.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to say a few words about this very, very important project. Thank you, and allow me to start by really thanking the Agence Française de Développement for good cooperation and hard work that has been invested in this project. It will create great opportunities and help stimulate long-term economic development in the Kagera region. There is great value in collaboration, and that is what we are also celebrating today. In response to the emerging need for energy supply in the region, we designed this project together with the AFD to stabilize power supply in northwest Tanzania and to supply renewable energy power to the national grid. So this construction shows our commitment to support our partners in speed up their green transition and move towards a circular economy. The EU contribution, which is a contribution of 36 million in grant funding, will support the implementation of environmental management plan and the upgrade of the Kayaka substation and the preparatory works for the installation of the 400 kilowatt switchgear. It will allow to inject Kakono power directly into the Tanzania-Uganda interconnection. The EU grant will reduce borrowing costs for the government and for this investment, and this should result also in more affordable energy prices for the final users. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Guest of Honor, once again allow me to call Celine Robert, Country Director of Agence France de Development, AFD, for few words. Proceed to podium for few words.
Asante sana, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Nabibi na Mabwana. It's a great honor for us to be here today and to sign this memorandum of cooperation for this project that is reinforcing the cooperation between the French Development Agency and the government of Tanzania. We've been working in preparing this investment for a while, and it's at the last stage of validation by the government of Tanzania. So this project will actually complement the portfolio of investment of the French Development Agency in the country that is amounting to more than 500 million euros, and that is covering generation of power, transmission, and also distribution networks to provide support to the vision of the government of Tanzania and their strategy to invest in the energy sector. So I thank you very much, and I leave the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Guest of Honor, now is Said Mark from the African Development Bank. Allow me to call Madam Patricia Lavery, Country Director of the African Development Bank, for a few words. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Habari za Subuhi. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Olivier Becht, Minister of Foreign Trade, bonjour, monsieur, and to our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On behalf of the African Development Bank, it is our distinct privilege and honor to be part of this important Tanzania-EU Business Forum aimed at increasing support to the government of Tanzania. For us at the African Development Bank, on December 16th, 2022, the board of the African Development Bank approved $161 million as its own contribution to the construction of the Kakono hydropower plant. The overall cost of the project is $308 million, of which the EU is providing $110 million, Agence Française is involved, and so on, but we are contributing $161 million for the construction of the plant. The Kakono hydropower project is a vital intervention that is part of the African Development Bank's country strategy for 2021 to 2025. Our strategy is focused on two work streams. The first is sustainable infrastructure for a competitive economy and improved private sector business environment aimed at job creation, of which the Kakono hydropower project is strategically aligned with. In terms of the specific activities that the African Development Bank will be supporting, first, we would support the civil works, the procurement of the electromagnetic equipment, as well as the overall supervision, financial management, and technical assistance for the project. The African Development Bank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, deeply values its partnership with the European Union, and we look forward to further deepening our strong collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A few remarks from African Development Bank. His Excellency Guest of Honor, allow me once again to welcome Olivier Becht, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, for just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes, thank you. I think that already said, so it's a great project. It's good for Tanzania, it's good for the planet, for the climate.
Dining table. Auntie Kunen, Serene Robert, and Patricia Lavery to proceed to signing table. And allow me to request a pleasure of the following key person. One is His Excellency Ambassador Nyamanga Justice, Ambassador of Tanzania to EU, His Excellency Manfredo Fant, European Head of Delegation to Tanzania, Ambassador of Tanzania in Paris, and the Ambassador of France in Tanzania to proceed to signing table to witness the deal. His Excellency, this deal will involve the construction of a line of the river hydropower plant in Kagera region, northwestern Tanzania, with an installed capacity of 87 megawatt. Yeah. Yes. Here we go. And associated 38.8 kilometer of 132 kVA transmission line to evacuate power to an existing substation at Kiaka. The new hydropower plant is expected to replace several diesel generators based on the planned capacity. It is estimated that the plant will reduce GHG emission by 213,810 tons per year. The additional capacity will also improve reliability of the supply. Please, brass band. Deal done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, after signing of MOU, please allow me now to welcome the announcement of private sector investment by KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited. So here we are going to have a video, special video, no any words, but for a minute, 1 or 2 minutes, we are going to watch a video. Yes, let's proceed for a video.
So I'm just going to start off by giving a bit of context on KNAF. KNAF had its humble beginning starting in 1932. It's a multinational with its head office in Germany, a 12.6 billion euro multinational. It's got 300 manufacturing facilities, 40,000 people working for it, and present in 19 countries. Tanzania investment or acquisitions has started in 2015, and to date, KNAF has invested in Tanzania 268 billion T-shilling, with its German manufacturing facility being commissioned in 2020 and a further capacity extension that will be commissioned in 2025. That would make KNAF the biggest plasterboard manufacturer in sub-Saharan Africa, and that will be in Tanzania. So why specifically Tanzania? It's the abundance of the raw material. It's the ease of investing. Especially the last 18 months, we've seen an improvement working with the TIC, one-stop shop that really made the investment easy, as well as getting the contract signed. That's beneficial for the government as well as that for KNAF. So if there's any advice that I could sort of give to the EU for further support, it's to encourage local production, for example, and then when the local production is present, support it, because otherwise what would be the benefit of asking for further investment in the country? Importation of key raw materials, especially like an investor like ourselves, material or paper is one of the biggest contributors. There we need to see what could be the importation duty benefits for the material like paper. And logistic solutions. One of the key reasons that KNAF invested in Tanzania, the natural market to Tanzania is our neighboring countries. But how do we serve them logistically? So I think this is also something where we could see how the government could support that could unlock even further investment. If there's any advice I could give, I think it's time now in Tanzania, where if we look at census, we're talking about 60 million people present in the country. This is going to lead to a lot of urbanization. That's going to put a lot of pressure on infrastructure. So let's invest now, and even that in itself leads to a lot of opportunities for the future.
Thank you very much for a video which explains what KNAF is doing in Tanzania with regard to gypsum production. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, after the video, please allow me to welcome Her Excellency Regina S., Ambassador of Germany to Tanzania, for few remarks. You are welcome.
Mgeni rasmi na bibi na mabwana, habari ya asubuhi. KNAF, this is how you pronounce it, KNAF, is a family-owned enterprise. The family-owned enterprises in Germany are the backbone of the German economy, specifically the small and medium enterprises. These enterprises are the ones which venture out and about to seek opportunities abroad. They have the courage and they seek new opportunities. KNAF has found the opportunities here in Tanzania, and the government of Tanzania has realized what KNAF has to offer. So KNAF was recognized as a strategic investor. They have started a factory, as you have seen in the video. KNAF International produces insulation materials, dry lining systems, plasters, thermal insulation, composite systems, paints, floor screeds, floor systems, and others. Here in Tanzania, under KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited, they're mainly producing plasterboards. The partnership with Tanzania is working well. As you have heard from Ilse Boshoff, she is the regional director for East Africa. She was the one in the video, and she sits over there. The partnership has had hiccups. As an investor in Tanzania, you need patience, determination, understanding. But the partnership all in all works well enough, and as we have heard, has improved over the last 18 months. And the German government is believing in this partnership. The government has issued state guarantees for the investment of KNAF. So KNAF has decided to invest additional 115 billion Tanzanian shillings that will triple the production by 2025. There's no signing, which seems to be less than an MOU signing, but actually this is a real investment which already exists and has already created lots of jobs. As a German ambassador, I'm very proud to be announcing this. Thank you very much.
His Excellency, Guest of Honor, next few remarks is coming from Tanzania Investment Center. Allow me to welcome Mr. Johnny Mnali, Acting Executive Director, Tanzania Investment Center, for a few words.
Good morning. My name is Gilead Terry. I'm the Executive Director of Tanzania Investment Center. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, just for a minute, allow me to say what this investment means to the people of Tanzania. So now, Gypsum Limited is a huge and important partner to TIC. They are our strategic investors. That's why I have to come here personally to speak about them. Their registration was effected at our investment center on the 7th of December 2015. Their initial investment was around $105 million US, which translates to about 268 billion Tanzanian shillings. They have invested since then, and on November 19th, 2021, they were granted by the 33rd National Investment Steering Committee, NISC meeting, a strategic investor status. And the strategic investor status just grants them additional incentives, but it also helps them do the business that they were doing with much more relative ease and close support from the institution that I lead, as well from other institutions within the government of Tanzania. As you have heard, Your Excellency, they deal with gypsum boards and they produce gypsum powder, and they work in the coastal region. Currently, their investment provides more than 150 direct jobs for Tanzanians and over 500 jobs indirectly. They have signed performance contract with my institution, and we continue to work with them and support them throughout their business. Their investment to our country is also important because it helps us lower import bill on the commodities that we would have otherwise have to import from outside the country. The additional investment that they have informed us is close to 50 million euros, their expansion that they want to invest, and we will be there hand-holding them and supporting them through that investment process from the beginning to the end. That is our duty that is bestowed upon our institution by the government of Tanzania, and this is my promise to each and every one of you as investors coming to our country. We will support you to make sure that your investment succeeds and you make money in Tanzania. I humbly submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilead Terry, Executive Director of Tanzania Investment Center. His Excellency, guest of honor, now I have the honor to welcome Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, Minister of Investment, Industry and Trade, for welcoming address and later on for keynote address from the guest of honor. You are welcome, Honorable.
The guest of honor, Your Excellency Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Mudrik Soraga, Minister of State, President's Office, Labor, Economy and Investment, Zanzibar Revolutionary Government, Honorable Olivia Vech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, Honorable Helena Koenig, Deputy Secretary General of the European External Action Service, Honorable Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the European Union in Tanzania, Mr. Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank, Honorable Ministers present with us here, Honorable Deputy Ministers present with us here, Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Excellency Ambassadors of Tanzania in European Union member countries, Excellency Ambassadors of European Union member countries in Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Mariam Ditopile, Makamu Mwenyekiti wa Kamati ya Kudumu ya Bunge ya Kilimo, Biashara na Mazingira, natambua upo pamoja na wajumbe wetu wa kamati hii, Mheshimiwa Mwanyika na Mheshimiwa Mugungusi. Karibuni sana, tushiriki kwa pamoja kujenga uchumi wetu. Heads of government institutions, heads of private sector companies, ladies and gentlemen, Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, Honorable guest of honor, let me take this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for granting us with time and healthy, so much so that we are able and managed to attend this very important historical forum, which puts together investors and business communities of Tanzania and the European Union. It is of great honor and privilege to express our profound gratitude to you, guests of honor, for accepting our invitation to officiate this important forum on behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Allow me also to appreciate the strong support and cooperation of European Union delegates here in Tanzania, led by His Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, for partnering with the Ministry in the preparation and the organization of this historic event. Honorable guest of honor, the main theme of First Tanzania and the European Union Business and Investment Forum is tap the investment, tap Tanzania's untapped investment opportunities. This forum is very crucial since it aims to showcase Tanzania's potential opportunities and the comparative advantage for European Union investors and business communities. Investors and business communities from both Tanzania and the European Union will have opportunity to discuss the best way to exploit untamed investment opportunities in specific sectors of economy, and allow me to mention just a few of them. We start with agriculture. That's one of the areas that we are seeing, but also tourism, energy, minerals, ICT, transport and logistics, construction, finance, for which we will provide also a platform for effective private Tanzania business communities. And until now, we are almost 700, as mentioned by the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry. Honorable guest of honor, the European Union is a leading bloc in terms of investment in our country in different sectors. Partnership between Tanzania and European Tanzania's GDP contribution and employment creation. It is our hope that through this forum, business and investment ties between our parties will be intensified. Honorable guest of honor, in this forum also, we are expecting to have a vibrant discussion with the sector-specific honorable ministers and investors, together with business communities from both Tanzania and the European Union. These discussions aim to unlock the untamed potentials available in each sector and come up with some recommendations on improving business and investment climate in Tanzania and the European Union. The forum will also offer a platform for business-to-business meetings, direct interactions between firms and policymakers, that's B2G, and between companies and financing institutions. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all participants, specifically from European Union, to visit exhibitions both outside the conference hall so that you can learn about our investment procedures and at least buy some of our made in Tanzania products from our SMEs exhibitors that are outside this conference room. Honorable guest of honor, with these few remarks, my task now is to welcome you to deliver your speech and officiate this important event for us in Tanzania and the European Union. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, karibu sana ili useme nasi. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kijaji.
Honorable Dr. Shatu Kijaji, Member of Parliament, Minister of Investment, Industries and Trade. Honorable Modric Saroga, Minister of State, President's Office, Economy, Labor and Investment, Zanzibar. Honorable Olivier Bet, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness of the Republic of France. Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers present. Honorable Helena Schoenig, Deputy Secretary General for Economic and Global Issues, European External Action Service of the EU. Honorable Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank. Your Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the European Union to the United Republic of Tanzania and the East African Community. Honorable Amos Makala, Regional Commissioner, Dar es Salaam. Honorable Members of Parliament, led by Honorable Mariam Ditopile, the Vice Chairperson of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Agriculture, Industry and Trade, Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Excellency, Ambassadors and High Commissioners from European Union Member States, Executive Directors of the Tanzania Investment Center and Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, business leaders, heads of government institutions and private sector companies, representatives of our development partners and non-government organizations, investors from Tanzania and EU member states, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very delighted and honored to officiate this first ever Tanzania EU Business Forum. On behalf of my President, Her Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, I wish to welcome you all to this very important forum. Karibuni sana Dar es Salaam, the harbor of peace. Welcome to Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro, which is the rooftop of Africa, the Serengeti National Park, which is renowned for the ritual wildebeest migration, and spicy islands of Zanzibar. We are greatly honored by your presence, and we look forward to engage and partner with you. Her Excellency President Samia commends the good and growing cooperation that we have had with the European Union since the 1970s. The government values very highly the support we have been getting from the EU to complement our development efforts. Overall, it is estimated that Tanzania has, over time, received bilateral and program support from the EU to the tune of $3 billion. But of special mention is the much needed life-saving vaccines that we received from the EU to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Her Excellency, the President, is looking forward to this forum to deliver further on strengthening of our partnership with the European Union and member states, especially targeting to stimulate EU investments in Tanzania, expand regional businesses, and bolster domestic private sector development. Excellencies, told we are graced with over 700 participants in this forum, of whom we have investors from all the 27 member states of the European Union and over 150 Tanzanian companies. This is indeed very impressive, and it is a clear signal of the prime importance of this meeting and the readiness of both Tanzania and the European Union to scale up investment cooperation on the ground. We are grateful to the EU Secretariat for availing us with this opportunity to host this important forum, which, as we have heard, goes by this theme, Seize Tanzania's Untapped Investment Opportunities. Allow me also to extend special thanks to His Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the EU to the United Republic of Tanzania and the EAC, also our Trade and Investment Ministry and related institutions for a well-prepared forum. I went through the program and found the forum to be tailor-made and allows for diverse engagements and business matching. With such diversity, I am confident that the participants will have fruitful and in-depth exchange over the 2 days, and the outcome of this forum will indeed usher in a new era of significantly higher trade and investment. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Tanzania government under President Samia is focused on building a vibrant economy underpinned by 4 pillars, namely reform, reconciliation, resilience, and rebuilding. We call them the 4 R's. Now, on reform, the government is dedicated to consolidating policy, institutional and regulatory reforms to improve the business environment. The reforms seek to promote consistency and predictability of policies, laws, and regulations. It aims also to enhance transparency, address red tape, and other related bottlenecks to trade and investment. A number of milestones have been recorded so far in implementing these reforms. We have rationalized institutional mandates and scrapped over 230 nuisance taxes and levies that were thwarting growth of businesses. On the same note, Tanzania has strengthened cooperation frameworks on taxation matters, including avoidance of double taxation. So far, we have already concluded and signed agreements with 10 countries on avoidance of double taxation and prevention of tax evasion. Furthermore, the government has taken serious measures to improve efficiency in revenue collection and administration. And these include enhancing fairness and efficiency in assessment, ensuring timely VAT refunds, and digitalization of tax systems, including the online self-service platform that allows the taxpayers to file returns, initiate payments, and access other tax services. We also have cargo tracking system, electronic single window that allows taxpayers to lodge their trade transactions quickly, and also the use of electronic fiscal management systems for verification of claims. The government has also amended the Tax Revenue Appeals Act, Cap 408, to accommodate alternative dispute resolution mechanisms and hence reduce bureaucracy in addressing tax appeals. In addition, steps have been taken to strengthen and modernize the Tanzania Investment Center and the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority to be able to serve effectively as one-stop centers for investment promotion and facilitation. Another groundbreaking reform has been the enactment of a new Tanzania Investment Act of 2022 to replace that of 1997. And the new law introduces a level playing field. It shortens the time for obtaining an investment license from 14 to 7 working days, and also granted access to international arbitration to the parties to settle disputes, either in accordance with Tanzanian arbitration laws or the International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, or within the framework of any bilateral or multilateral agreement on investment protection agreed to by the government of Tanzania and the government of the country from which the investor originates. With regard to reconciliation, the government and the ruling party CCM have taken bold steps to further open up the civic and political space. Her Excellency President Samia continues to stress the need to adhere to the principles of good political and economic governance, rule of law, and social inclusivity, aiming at empowering the youth as well as attaining a 50-50 gender balance. In addition, dialogue with investors and business leaders within and outside the country has been carried out under the championship of Her Excellency the President, aiming at opening up Tanzania to the global economy and build investors' confidence and trust. With regard to building socioeconomic resilience, amidst the recurring global shocks and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government, among others, has implemented a comprehensive plan to mitigate the effects of the pandemic, stimulate growth, and safeguard macroeconomic stability. And this includes the COVID-19 Socioeconomic Response Plan, which entailed improvement of social services, economic empowerment, and monetary policy interventions to increase liquidity and revitalize the sectors that were hit hardest by the pandemic, especially tourism, trade, and the financial sector. On rebuilding the economy, the government has capitalized on previous achievements and continued to implement mega projects. And this is reflected by a sizable increase in the development budget, which has now reached 45% of the total budget in fiscal year 2021-22, in order to enhance the productive capacity of the economy. Tanzania is currently positioning herself to boost intra-regional trade, and especially with landlocked neighbors. The ongoing construction of a multi-standard gauge railway is in good progress and will soon be launching its first operation for the 500-kilometer section which connects Dar es Salaam and the administrative capital city of Dodoma. In the medium term, the standard gauge railway network is set to be extended up to Musongati and Gitega in Burundi and Kindu in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And this will open the Musongati and Gitega mines of lithium and nickel, as well as facilitate transport of other cargo to and from the port of Dar es Salaam. Likewise, the Grand Julius Nyerere hydroelectric power project is now at 80.2% completion and is expected to generate 2,115 megawatts and thereby raise our generation capacity to around 5,000 megawatts for domestic use, including countrywide rural electrification and export to neighboring countries. The government has also improved efficiency and expanded capacity of our ports, Dar es Salaam, Tanga, Mtwara, including also the completion of the Kuala Dry Port to support port operations and decongest Dar es Salaam. Now, relatedly, to reduce the cost of clearance, the Tanzania Shipping Agencies Corporation, TASAC, its services are now confined to only hazardous consignments. Apart from these mega projects, other initiatives include accelerated construction of trunk and regional roads, the Royal Tour film, which was championed by Her Excellency the President, to showcase Tanzania's pride and revitalize the tourism sector post-COVID-19. Of recent, we have embarked on a program which we call Building a Better Tomorrow, a youth initiative for agribusiness, which aims at tapping into the youth labor force, which accounts to nearly 2/3 of our population. Furthermore, substantial investments have been made in the social service sectors, education, health, water, and so on, in order to improve the quality of life and human capital. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, payoffs from the above reforms have already been quite substantial. Among other things, we have observed that the total value of registered foreign investments quadrupled from $1.1 billion in 2020 to $4.5 billion in 2022. The number of tourist arrivals more than doubled from 620,867 in 2020 to 1,454,920 in 2022. Liquidity enhancement and prudent monetary policy implementation resulted in a rebound of annual credit growth to the private sector, to a record level of 22.5% in December of 2022, compared with only 10% in the corresponding period of 2021, and an average of only 9.3% over the period 2015-16 to 2019-20. Real GDP is now back on the recovery path from the growth rate of 4.8% in 2020 to 4.9% in 2021, and an average of 5.2% over the first, second, and third quarter of 2022. In the medium term, that is from 2023 to 2027, the real GDP growth rate is projected at above 6.0%, converging to the pre-crisis growth average of 6.7%. Headline inflation remained moderate despite continued pressure on food and energy prices. In 2022, inflation averaged 4.3% compared with 3.7% in 2021, which is still within the target band of 3 to 7% and the East African Community average of 10%. With such a growth momentum, Tanzania has become one of the fastest growing economies in sub-Saharan Africa, exceeding the regional average of 4.7% in 2021 and 3.8% in 2022. And this is according to the World Bank reports, as well as the IMF update of January 2023. And we are confident that we are making steady progress and turning into a bright spot for investment with a good rate of return. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Tanzania has a very strong desire to attract foreign direct investment and capitalize on our rich natural resource endowments and a strategic geographical location. While we are aware of the turbulence of the geopolitics, we are also conscious of the opportunities that come with it, particularly on enhancing food security and the agricultural sector as a whole. We are now in the process of preparing the next Tanzania development vision for another 25 years, where we envision to transform the national economy from a lower middle income country to join the rank of upper middle income countries. This will certainly require, among other things, increased investment and trade, and hence we are really optimistic that this forum will be an important lever towards this objective. As we are embarking on reforms undertaken and the achievements so far, Tanzania welcomes investments that build on our capabilities in reaping the demographic dividend, pursuing greener pathways, ensuring higher agricultural productivity and food security, harness science, technology, and innovation, and tap into the fourth industrial revolution. Nonetheless, I will wish to highlight selected investment priorities that the government seeks to further unlock in order to accelerate the socio-economic development of our country. First, as I mentioned earlier, agriculture is among the sectors that we are giving special attention and effort in rebuilding the economy. So I welcome you to take advantage of the investment opportunities from Agenda 1030 that seeks to promote agribusiness and increase agricultural sector growth to 10% by 2030. The approach that we have adopted is to introduce cluster farming for the youth. This is the Building a Better Tomorrow that I alluded to earlier, which requires significant investment in mechanization and digital platforms. We are also targeting to undertake large-scale commercial farming of crops such as sugarcane, wheat, sunflower, grapes, maize, and horticulture, as well as deep-sea fishing, aquaculture, and ranching. With a great potential for Tanzania to become the food basket of the region and beyond, we are inviting investors to establish agro-processing industries and food innovation hubs. Second is tourism. This is another wanting area for investment, given the ample marine resources along our 1,000-kilometer coastline, as well as Zanzibar and Pemba Islands. And the opportunities include building of tourism infrastructure, including hotels, sports arena, conferences and hospitals, game parks, construction of golf courses, sea and lake cruising, and development of ecotourism facilities. Third is logistics. The combination of a growing manufacturing sector and the fact that Tanzania is the de facto gateway and trans-corridor for goods to and from landlocked countries in Eastern and Southern Africa, it makes logistics to be one of the most attractive investment opportunities, ranging from port development and digitization of services, construction of toll roads, storage facilities, dry ports, airport handling services, skills enhancement, and so on. Another area that may be of interest to some of you relates to the energy sector. And this includes oil and gas exploration in Zanzibar, investment in renewable and other forms of clean energy, utilizing solar, windmills, and solid waste. The country's solar radiation levels range between 1.8 megawatt hours and 2.2 megawatt hours per square meter, which is equivalent to Spain, while the high wind power potential covers 10% of the country, which rivals California. As is well known, ICT and digital transformation is among the key drivers of rapid development. Our national ICT policy advocates for investment in building digital infrastructure, such as data farms and digital technology institutes, to enhance skills and capitalize on cutting-edge digital innovations, such as robotic engineering, artificial intelligence, etc. We therefore welcome investors from the EU to join us in this endeavor. As making efforts to support greening initiatives in the capital, we are conscious of the global environment and what our partnership can achieve. Inclusion of green spaces in our cities is part of nature-based solutions that offer innovative approaches to increase the quality of urban settlements and contribute to reduction of greenhouse gases and global warming. It is along these lines that we are therefore welcoming establishment of green parks in Dodoma City, investments in renewable energy and climate-smart infrastructure in the fast-growing cities, including the transformation of solid waste into fertilizer and biogas. In addition, you may also wish to explore investing in carbon trading. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the EU-Tanzania Business Forum is indeed a unique opportunity to boost and sustain our achievements. I take note of the existing investment and trade levels reached so far. Total trade between Tanzania and the EU nearly doubled from $1.2 billion in 2019 to $2.1 billion in 2022, accounting for 10% of total trade in 2022. The FDI stock of the European Union-based companies was $3.2 billion in 2019, compared to around $2 billion in 2022, accounting for about 13% of total FDI stock in 2022. Tanzania also has been receiving a good number of tourists from the European Union, from 362,393 in 2019 to 449,200 visitors in 2022, which is about 31% of total visitors in 2022. The EU has also played a great role in turning around tourism earnings, being among the 10 top spenders in 2022. And despite the achievements, the trade balance between the EU and Tanzania remained in favor of the EU, with the trade deficit of around $500 million in 2019 and $900 million in 2022. We therefore bank on this forum to contribute to addressing this trade imbalance. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude my remarks, I wish to once again reiterate that we expect this forum to be a catalyst to increase EU investment in Tanzania and a venue to build mutual confidence and trust. We look forward to a partnership that will align with our aspiration to be not only the regional business hub, but also a food granary for the world. Keeping in mind the vast domestic market of 61.7 million people, which is, by the way, projected to double by 2044, we have a regional East African community market of not less than 177 million people, a SADC market of over 300 million people, and the African Continental Free Trade Area, which covers 55 African countries, with a market of not less than 1.4 billion people. Your investments are guaranteed to exponentially succeed. It is our hope that this very first EU-Tanzania Business Forum is the beginning of many more to come. As we have embarked on the journey, we look forward to having candid discussions on the opportunities and your fears and the constraints that hinder faster progress in stimulating investment and trade from the EU member states. Please accompany us in this journey so that we go far. Bring business financing of significance as announced by the European Investment Bank. Bring the technology and experience, particularly in high payoff investments. I also wish to take this opportunity to encourage the business community in Tanzania to take advantage of this forum to learn, share experiences, network, and look out for business opportunities. Na hapa ningependa kusisitiza kwa Kiswahili. Kwa wafanyabiashara wa Kitanzania, tumieni fursa hii adhimu kujifunza, kubadilishana uzoefu, kufahamiana na wawekezaji mbalimbali na kutafuta fursa za kushirikiana na kuingia makubaliano ya kibiashara. With these remarks, I now have the honor and pleasure to announce that the first EU-Tanzania Business Forum is officially opened. I wish you successful deliberations and conclusion of many deals aside from the welcomed agreements and MOUs that have been signed before us on air transport, port services, investment in the Kakono Hydro Project, the KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind attention.
Asante sana. Okay, you may sit seated. His Excellency Dr. Philip Isdoli Mpango, we appreciate your keynote address and marks the end of the opening session. We are now allow you to proceed with other program, and we request and I-table to escort you from the conference room. Brass band, please. Asante, brass band. Distinguished delegates, you may sit, please. Distinguished delegates, we are done with the opening session, and may I take this opportunity to welcome my co-director of ceremony to proceed with the program. Au revoir. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana na kazi iendelee.